A special thank you to each of our subscribers who make this channel possible. Here's today's story. In a significant development amid the ongoing ceasefire negotiations, the Israeli military has announced that one of the 4 bodies handed over by Hamas does not belong to any of the hostages held in Gaza. This revelation adds to the already fragile situation, as families of hostages and the Israeli government express deep concerns over the return of deceased individuals. The bodies were returned as part of a ceasefire deal aimed at easing tensions and facilitating humanitarian aid. On Tuesday evening, Hamas delivered 4 bodies to Israel, following the release of 4 more on Monday, which included the last 20 living hostages. However, the Israeli military's forensic examinations revealed that one of the bodies does not match the records of any known hostages. This has raised alarm among families who are desperately seeking closure regarding their loved ones. The Hostages Family Forum confirmed that 3 of the 4 bodies returned were identified as those of Uriel Baruch, Tamir Nimrodi, and Eitan Levi. Baruch was abducted from the Nova Music Festival during the initial Hamas-led attack on October 7, 2023. Nimrodi was taken while overseeing humanitarian aid operations, and Levi was kidnapped while driving a friend to Kibbutz Be'eri. Israeli Prime Minister Netanyahu has demanded that Hamas adhere to the terms of the ceasefire agreement, emphasizing the importance of returning the remains of all deceased hostages. Netanyahu stated, "We will not compromise on this and will not stop our efforts until we return the last deceased hostage, until the last one." The ceasefire plan, proposed by U.S. President Donald Trump, mandated the return of all hostages, living and deceased, by a specific deadline, which has now passed. Despite the challenges, Hamas has claimed they are working to fulfill their obligations regarding the return of hostages' remains. Hazem Qasem, a spokesperson for Hamas, accused Israel of violating the ceasefire terms with military actions in Gaza. Meanwhile, Israel's defense minister, Israel Katz, has warned that any approach to deployment lines established in the ceasefire would be met with military action. The situation has led to mixed emotions across both sides, with celebrations over the return of living hostages contrasted by the grief of families still awaiting the return of their loved ones. As the humanitarian situation in Gaza remains dire, Israel's decision to open the Rafah border crossing for aid deliveries has been welcomed. However, the military's warning of potential aid cuts if Hamas does not comply with the return of the deceased hostages looms large, creating further tension. The families of the deceased hostages have expressed their dismay at the incomplete return of remains, while Hamas and the Red Cross have cited the challenges posed by the extensive destruction in Gaza as a hindrance to the recovery of bodies. The ongoing conflict and the delicate nature of the ceasefire agreement underscore the complexities facing both sides as they navigate this tumultuous period. As the situation develops, the focus remains on the humanitarian needs of those affected by the conflict and the urgent need for a resolution that respects the lives and memories of all involved. That's all for this story. We upload videos every day covering many different subjects, so hit that subscribe button to stay informed. Thanks for watching.